Hi, I'm Cameron. I feel like that point has been made several times at this interval, but there's not really any reason to go into that. It's perfectly fine that I'm Cameron, and that's all we really need to do to get things started, I'd say. So, I I quit my job today. Um I went to college for 4 years to get a Bachelor of Psychology, so that way I could go work in the mental health industry so I could help people out. And that's the reason why I did it. Um, I wanted to be able to help people out. That really was the reason behind it. I could have stayed for about a year and a half longer to get my master's degree so that way I could be a therapist. And I chose not to do that because I felt like it was a lot of money, and in the event I decided not to stay in the mental health industry, I would want to do something else. And having a psychology master's degree isn't that much different than having a bachelor's degree unless you explicitly want to be a therapist. And if you want to be anything more than a therapist, then you just get a PhD. And I talked a lot about with the professors at the time, and it was pretty much a universal. If you don't want to be a therapist, there's not really a reason to get a master's degree. So I decided not to do that then. And I worked for the suicide prevention hotline for a little bit. And after about 2 weeks, I quit that. And then afterwards, I worked at a mental health hospital for a little bit. I don't know if I can explicitly say which one, just in case I'm not going to do that. And I quit there pretty quickly after that too. Then a youth correctional facility, and I quit there too. And now with this most recent position, it was also like a phone thing. You work with people on the phones, help them order prescriptions and stuff like that. And I kind of. Why does the light do that? Look at that. Huh. That's neat. I don't know why it does that. That's gonna distract me for the rest. Don't pay too much attention to that for the rest of the video. No, it's too distracting now. But this most recent position was like ordering prescriptions, and then I got promoted into tech support, and then now I got promoted again into medical insurance and stuff like that. I wasn't making any more money though. And every day I went into the office, it would always be like, well, you're doing such a great job, Cameron. We got a new position for you. You're going to be a team lead. You're going to be a trainer. You're really killing it. Like, you're perfect. You don't have any flaws or anything like that. You're doing a perfect job. And this whole time, I'm making minimum wage. And I'm not really happy. I just get yelled at on the phone all day. It doesn't matter how nice I was. It doesn't matter how rude I was. I would just get yelled at every single day. And that's kind of how I felt when I was in those other positions too. And I'm not saying anything against anybody who has mental health problems or anything like that. Obviously not. If I had a vendetta against people like that, I wouldn't have gone to school for it. But I wasn't really getting any money out of it. And I'm not saying like I don't have enough to buy a house or anything like that. I'm saying I don't have enough to pay my bills by doing that. I don't have enough to live anywhere aside from where I'm living right now, which is a very low income area in a city that's already one of the lowest income cities to live in America. And I never really felt like I was actually making a difference in anybody's lives. Most of the people who were at the mental health hospital were just using it as a homeless shelter, which is fine. If you need a place to sleep, that's fine. But for the people who were in there who had problems and they were seeking help, they didn't get the help that they needed. They were just lumped in a group of people and kind of treated like, another metric to take care of by the end of the day. I would go around and I would take everyone's vitals and ask how they're doing, and that was it. I wasn't really allowed the time to sit down and talk with them or anything like that. That's what the doctor was supposed to do. But the doctor would just come around and kind of ask them the same types of questions that I was asking. And at the correctional facility, you'd sit down and you'd work with these kids, and then someone else that's at the facility who's not like listening to rules or anything like that is just going to come in and scream at them because they hate their life, and so they're going to take that out on somebody else. And that made me really upset. And then now, at this most recent position, is the longest I've ever had before. And I just kind of got to a point to where I was waking up every day and I was like crying because I couldn't take having to go to this office and pretend to be somebody that I'm not every single day of my life. And you try talking to people about that who are older than you, and you ask for advice, and it's pretty much universally, well, I've been working for 20, 30 years, this doesn't get any better, you just gotta deal with it. And like, you're still young, you still have plenty of time to figure things out. I'm 24, I'm not young. I have my whole life in front of me. I don't want my whole life to be sitting in a box, getting yelled at on the phone by people who I'm not allowed to help. Say somebody calls in and they have a problem. This is a really bad angle, dude. Like, nothing but neck. But if somebody calls in and they have a problem that I can't help them with, I just can't help them. If someone got into a car crash and doesn't have insurance, I can't tell them anything. I just have to be like, sorry, go talk to somebody else. Now, it's not my responsibility to help them in that way, since it's not my position, but every single day working in all of these facilities where it's nothing but like, you just tell them what you're allowed to tell them. You don't really get to help anybody out. And even while I was at those facilities and somebody would come in and I'd be like, hi, like, if you need someone to talk to, you can talk to me about that. Like, you can find me when things are a bit less busy, and we can sit down and we can talk about how you're feeling. I got in trouble for doing that because I was like creating a power struggle or something like that. It's like, well, you're not supposed to tell them that you're allowed, like, they can come and talk to you because we're not allowed to do that. So since these two agents said no, since you said yes, now you're making a power struggle. And that's what we're talking about here. Someone's having the worst day of their life right now, and we're supposed to be the people who are helping them. And instead, all we're doing is trying to avoid creating a power struggle. It's about office politics. When I was at the suicide prevention hotline, there was a big, massive, like, disaster relief operation that took place while I was there. And the president came down and was like, we have to make sure we look really good in front of the sponsor. Because, like, the sponsor was like, hey, everybody, if you have disaster relief, like, if you need help with disaster relief, call this number and these people can, like, set you up. And during that day, our priority was looking good in front of our sponsor and, like, our investors and stuff like that. It wasn't helping the people who lost their homes. It was helping the person on TV look better so that way they could win an election or something like that. And now it's like, going into that office every day, it was like I was working towards somebody else's dream. I talked to somebody at the office about how I was feeling, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, and, I got the usual, you're still young, you still have plenty of times to figure things out. But people said I was young when I was 15, and I felt the same way that I do now. People said I was young when I was in college and I wanted to drop out. I'm like, well, don't drop out yet. You're young. You have your whole life in front of you. What you're doing right now is setting yourself up. Like, you're young. You have your whole life in front of you. But when do I get to start living my life? When does the whole life that's in front of me become a reality? When does it stop being something I'm just working towards? Because I don't feel like I'm working towards anything. I don't feel like I'm any closer to being in, like, a big house with, like, a car and, like, a garage than I was 5 years ago. I don't feel like any progress has been made in that venue. And the messed up part about it is that it's like some people might go like, but Cameron, you're working at a call center. What do you expect? You're not going to buy a house working in a call center. The problem is that working at this call center, where all I did was reset passwords for people every day, I was making more money than I was at the hospital that required me to have a degree. I went to college for 4 years to study how to be, like, empathetic and to know how the brain works and stuff like that. That paid less than the call center, where old people call in and they don't know how to reset their password. How is that fair? And even now, if I wanted to, I could go work at a McDonald's and I'd make even more money than that. So what was the point of going to college? And then at that point, if all I'm doing is just working to make money, when do I get the time to enjoy myself? I only get like a week off per year. A week? When I was a kid, I got 3.5 months. When I was in college, you got like 4. You get a month off for Christmas, 3 months off for summer. And now as an adult, I get a week to myself? People just, every day you come in, people are like, oh, it's Friday, thank God. Or like, oh, it's Monday, it's going to be a long week. That's all anybody talks about. It's just talking about like, oh, I'm going to get smashed on this weekend. So all people can do is go home and try and cope with the reality that they're in. But their life didn't turn out the way that they wanted to. And I don't really see the point in being alive. I mean, there were nights where I'd come back and I'd just like, want to kill myself. It's like, I can't do this anymore. I had to have people there to like talk me out of it and help me out and everything like that. And I'm very thankful that I do, but why am I not spending time with those people? Why do I have to go to this place that makes me want to end my life? Why is not having anything, no perception of anything, like your brain is just completely gone, why is that preferable to existing? That's where I'm at. It's life or death. Every day you go into work, it's life or death, and lives aren't even on the line. There's more stress working in a call center where all I'm doing is managing people's insurance than there is being in a mental hospital where we're literally trying to save people's lives. So, what's the point of being alive then, if all I'm doing is just making enough money to live in a box? I mean, look at my room. This is just a box. The only wall you're not seeing in this right now is the one that, like, I have my camera in front of. There's a window there. That's it. That's it. This is just a box. This is how much I can afford right now. That's with a roommate, too. There's no meaningful way for me to progress my life. And so at that point, it's like, well, why not just try and live? If I'm going to be stuck working a dead-end job for my whole life, then why don't I try to do something different? Why don't I try to make more videos just for fun? Maybe not like, I gotta get big, Why not just make more videos? Why not just stream more? Why not try and be creative? Because if it doesn't work out, then I still tried, and I have to go back to like that hellscape of a box, sitting in the office, taking calls, flipping burgers at McDonald's, which pays better. Apparently McDonald's even pays for your college now. They put money into your like college fund. What's the point then? I punched my desk, another camera tilted. Cool. So there's no point to this. There's really genuinely no point. Look at my parents. They've been doing this for like 40 years. They don't seem very happy. The only people I know who are happy, like happy, like they don't have some existential dread, or they don't like need to talk to you at 3 a.m. or something like that, are people who were either like born into a rich family, or they have a job that they don't hate because they got lucky. And that's really what it is. I have a friend who's a few years younger than me, and he's making like quadruple what I make. Yeah, good for him, But that's not my reality. My reality is that I'm miserable. I don't want to do it anymore. I really don't, The idea that I have to wake up and I need to sit down in front of a computer screen for 8.5 hours and I need to take calls. And that person's going to call in. They're not going to listen. There's a delay on the connection. They're going to scream at me. They're going to yell at me. They're going to swear at me. And I have to sit there and I have to take it. And then, if I manage to help them out successfully, then I'm going to have somebody come up to me and be like, Cameron, you're perfect. You're flawless. Keep doing everything that you're doing right now. Got new team lead position coming up, We're always looking for new people. You're young and you still have your whole life in front of you, and you're doing a really good job for yourself right now. I don't want that. I don't want any of that. I want to be happy. And then having more responsibility but not getting any further in life. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I don't even have a dog. I can't afford to have any of those things. There's this really cute waitress at this restaurant I go to every now and then, right? She's so cute. She always smiles. She's always so friendly. She's got this beautiful long hair. I'm not going to dox her. I'm going to leave all the description at that. And every now and then when I go in there, I'm like, I should ask her out. She's nice. I should ask her out. But I don't. Because, in the event that she doesn't already have a boyfriend, or if she might be interested, it's like, I can't afford to have a girlfriend. I cannot afford to, just take a girl out on a date, down to a movie theater or something like that, or just take her out to eat or anything like that. I can't afford to do that. And that's after working for 2.5 years with a college degree. It's not like I'm lazy. It's not like I don't want to work. It's just that it's draining. It kills you. It makes you want to kill yourself. So I don't know what I need to do at this point. Because there's so much I want to do. I want to share everything that I think about. I want to make things. I want to encourage people. I want to help them. I want to help people. I know what it's like to be sad. I don't want people to be sad. I want to equip them with what they need to be happy. But I can't do that if I'm working in a facility that's like, hey, you shouldn't have told that patient that they can come talk to you because now you're making a power struggle. Or if somebody's house just got hit by a meteorite for some reason, right? And he's like, my house got blown by a meteorite. What do I do? And my response is supposed to be like, oh, I'm sorry, very sorry to hear that, sir. If you could just fill out the form for the insurance, we'll send somebody over right away. And the response is like, I don't have insurance. What am I supposed to do? Get yelled at for 30 minutes? And then if you hang up, it's like, oh, how could you do that to them? It's like, how can you treat me like that? What? Am I just like a rat in a box? Is that all I am? Am I just like a tool meant to be used to fulfill something? So I come in, I have perfect stats, I don't miss a single day of work, and yet the person sitting next to me, because they're friends with the manager, gets to take off as much time as they need. With pay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's cool, that's awesome. That's great, Why? Just because I said something one time that made them upset, that's all it takes? That's not fair. And so, if all life is getting yelled at by people, there's no point in being alive. There really isn't. It's not like you can blame people for being mad about this situation either. It's a Monday. Someone's car just got hit by a brick. They're going to call and they're going to be upset about it. If I was on my way to work and I got hit by a car, I'd be mad. If my house got hit by a meteorite, I'd be mad. Because that's the way that the world is. I can't deal with this anymore. The difference between staying at that job and quitting is, am I going to kill myself when I go into work today? Am I going to die? It's life or death. It's literally life or death. I've tried to tell people about this and they say I'm exaggerating things. Like, oh, well, are you going to be okay? What about the stability? And it's like, there is no stability. Somebody that I worked with was at the company for like 5 years. They just got laid off like that. Just like that. They didn't even get told about it. They were just like, hey, you're fired. Get out. You get a month. A month? A month? Some people plan like 3 years ahead on stuff. What do you got people you got to send to college? What if you have like, a spouse you have to take care of? What if you have to take care of your parents? What about your kids? A month? Go ahead, figure it out. So if we're talking life or death here, because it is life or death, I choose to live. I don't know where that's going to take me, but regardless of everything, I choose to live. I would rather live and risk everything not working out than spend another day wanting to die. The fact that we exist in a world where people can get to the point where just waking up in the morning fills them with dread. You know what I did today? I woke up, I slept for like 12 hours. I want to say it was even like 13 or 14, right? I went to bed at the same time I always do to get up for work. I woke up and I was like, I don't have to go to work. I slept for like another 6 hours because that's how exhausted I was. You can see the bags under my eyes. Now you can see more of my eyes if I do that. That's crazy. I look like a crazy. Look at this. This is how I feel every day. So what? There's no point then. I'm making money. For what? To afford to keep doing this? To afford this box that I'm in? You can make money a lot more efficiently doing a lot of other things. I don't know what they are. That's just what I hear. I'm just repeating what I'm told. Because I have my whole life in front of me and I can figure out what I want. And I can go wherever I want. I'm so smart. I can figure things out. Being told to me by the person who wants to keep me in this position where I'm making minimum wage. You're so smart, Cameron. We're going to promote you. Okay. It's been a year. When is that going to happen? And then you start talking and you find out that the person above you doesn't even make more than you do. They make less. And so then it's just politics at that point. All I want is something that I can do that doesn't make me want to kill myself and also makes me happy. And for some reason, that's just impossible at this point. And I refuse to believe that the world is genuinely at a point to where we're not allowed to believe in our dreams. I keep thinking about that. When I was a kid, what did I want to do? I wanted to make video games. I wanted to test video games. I wanted to write video games. It's all I do. It's the only thing in my life that I care about, aside from my friends, obviously. But that's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. And yet anytime you present that idea, it's like, well, that's not going to work out. Anytime you try to do what you want, somebody else is going to tell you, well, you're young. Think about it first. I'm not young anymore. I grew up. I'm an adult. This is my reality. What did I grow up to be? A password resetter? An insurance denier? A call center agent? That's what I grew up to be? That's what the whole fruits of my labor amounted to? That's what my whole life built up into? Working in a call center? I don't want to do that. That sucks. And again, if the alternative is killing myself, I'd rather choose to live. I'd rather choose to try the things that everybody said I couldn't do. I'd rather risk everything, knowing that if I fail, at least I tried. That's better than staying in a box where you get screamed at every single day, and then you're miserable for your whole life. That's not living. That's just surviving. I don't want to survive. I want to live. So I quit my job today. I didn't put my 2 weeks in. I don't have anything else lined up. But by doing that, by taking that first step, by making that jump, by reaching out to that next hold on the mountain, I'm one step closer to where I want to be. And that's a hell of a lot better than wanting to die. I don't know what compelled me to sit down in front of a camera for 25 minutes and talk about it, but I did. I didn't have to put any thought into it. I didn't hesitate on doing it like I normally do when I want to upload something. I just did it. And I think I'm just going to keep doing things. Just trying things out. Because I don't want to die. I want to live. And that's what I'm going to do.